And some people say I'm a bit intense. I am. So apologies if I'm generally a bit intense.
No, intense is good. I think I like that kind of intensity and that
That's
kind
good,
of passion.
I know,
what I mean?
But people misconstrue it. They're very scared. Some people like mute my stories because I'm too intense.
Welcome to another episode of Uncut. Today, we have someone very radical. He's none other than Radical Kindness, Kevin. So, I think I'll let him introduce himself.
Thanks for having me. Want me to introduce myself?
Yes. Many people know who you are, but I want you to tell people who you really are.
My name is Kevin. Actually, nobody knows my name. Nobody knows my title. I know my title, my handle.
Who your handle, yeah.
I love animals, including cockroaches.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think they're very misunderstood creatures.
Okay.
I think people look at the surface a lot. If you look deeper, they're actually very resilient.
So, do you think that you are like a cockroach?
In a way, a bit resilient, hard to kill. They can survive without a head for 10 days. I can't survive without a head for 10 days. Yeah, but the reason why I kind of drawn to things, I've always been drawn to things that are countercultural, that people see as quote-unquote negative. And I realized beneath the surface, there's a lot of hidden value and fascination and insights that I gain from looking at these things. So my life has always been explored. In my life, I've always explored extremes. I think the best lessons are learned in extremes. So that's why I'm a bit radical.
A bit radical, like that's your idea behind Radical Kindness.
In a way, it was sparked by a situation that didn't work out with a girl. And I repeated this a bunch of times, so I don't want to feel like I'm dragging the story, but because now you're asking me, I'll just briefly talk about it.
Sure.
I came out from a very long period of relapse. I was very lonely and during that period, and I never dated anybody for 10 years because I was busy with business and career. So she was the first girl I really liked and found interest in, pursued. And long story short, it didn't work out. One of the reasons she mentioned was that I was a bit too impulsive, a bit too spontaneous, I don't make her feel safe. Yeah, and I fully accept it. Back then, obviously, I was very indignant.
Very go-getter.
Go-getter, the ambition is fine, right? Ambition is fine. It's just like in public or in general, the way I do things is very, very spontaneous.
Very hiong.
Yeah, so I might do some things that are just very out of pocket, and people, to me, it's very normal, but to someone else, it's just a bit unsafe. And I think that was what kind of pushed her away eventually. We had something going on for a while, but then she decided that, okay, no, we are going to pull back. And one of the reasons she said was that, I was a bit radical.
So I think that you have a lot of radical in you.
Yeah.
So this is why you come up with this brand, I would say. I think it's a brand?
In some way. Because she said I was a bit radical, so I decided, I'll just put in a name instead.
Okay.
Radical Kindness.
So I've seen some of your videos.
Yeah.
Right. Would you think that, I also sometimes I feel that I want to do something similar to you.
Okay, yeah.
Right, trying to give kindness,
Sure.
But do you think that becomes a little bit exploitative?
Oh, an article wrote about this, right?
Yes.
And I think that it's some context. I'm not sure when this is going to be released, but I think this this month is January.
Weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, one week ago, probably around 20th Jan or something like that. Somebody wrote an article.
Yeah.
In CNA, in the headline saying, is kindness the line between exploitation and inspiration? And he quoted me bringing a homeless man from KL to Singapore as arguably exploitative because I'm using him for content. Now, the argument itself is not ungrounded. It's a very fair argument, and it's something that I'm very aware of. Right? So let's touch on that. I think I'm very aware that any kind of content here, you can cut a certain snippet and make me look right.
The context is everything. Yes.
To make me look weird, you can cut it just for views.
Yes.
Right? So anybody in media, anybody that is involved in representing someone in some way has to deal with this. It's just that mine is more prominent because I do public content a lot.
Yes.
So I think it's a very valid argument that sometimes in the desire to create content, you would overlook certain interests of people. So I think it's a very valid argument. However, if you look deeper into the article, I think the main red flag for me is that he never contacted me for a comment.
So it's something that is outside of your knowledge.
He never contacted me.
Nobody told you anything about this and they just quoted you out of...
He didn't quote me, but they wrote the article without asking my opinion, which is very odd because you're headlining me, but you're not reaching out to me for a comment.
So they're also very clickbait.
In a way. And the most ironic thing, this is fascinating thing. After I realized who wrote the article, was a PhD lawyer. right? And I looked into his profile and he turned out to be the former Secretary General of Singapore Kindness Movement.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Singapore Kindness Movement. And I looked into his blog. You Google him, right? He's a blog called One of a Kind. His name is Dr. William Wan.
Oh wow.
He has a blog called One of a Kind. And the front page of his blog, right, is him receiving awards for kindness.
The irony.
Yeah. So to me, it's crazy. And so, like, to what extent was the article informed by envy? I don't know. Maybe they're just envious that with so little I can create so much attention versus having millions of dollars of taxpayers' money and not being as relevant as me. You know, I take nothing away from SKM, obviously. You know, I appreciate their work and everything. And he doesn't represent her organization because I don't think he's part of that anymore.
Yeah,
but the fact that he was previously could give clues into the motivations behind it. I'm not saying that it is. I wouldn't know because he doesn't want that discussion.
There's no communication, right? He hasn't reached out. He hasn't do anything.
So sorry, I strayed away from this topic. But going back to your earlier point, I think the way I mitigate that is, number one, I seek consent of everybody that I'm shooting, and I explain to them the context, right? Number two, if I post the video and they're not happy with it or for whatever reason, I will take it down, even if I'm not obliged to. I'll prioritize the interest over views. That's always been my philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personally, I think it's really a thin line, but I also do know, and I think that it does help because what you're doing is actually to spread kindness.
Yeah.
And by doing what you're doing, if it's able to inspire people to not do, or rather who wants to do something, to do it without the fear of having been judged, because that's what is stopping a lot of people from doing.
I think
that kindness kind of thing.
It's a fine line. I think it's very hard to cross. And social media, people judge one piece of content, right? 1 minute, whereas it's hours that go into it, but they just judge at 1 minute, right? I put out 400 pieces of content, but one image of me racing speed will generate so much controversy without people understanding my background, who I am, what I stand for. And that's the reality of social media. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because I'm a professional. I live and die by the sword, right? If I play this game, means that I also have to accept the drawbacks.
Yes. So
because I'm reaping the benefits.
Correct. You already know that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
That is why you are ready to take that.
And I'm very aware that some of my content might make people feel a bit uncomfortable. People that feel that kindness shouldn't be shown. But I do feel that taking everything into account, it is still a net positive.
I remember one video that you did. I think that was quite some time back where you were contemplating suicide.
Okay, yes.
So what was that about? Like what? Because it really caught a lot of people off guard.
Yeah.
Thinking that, oh shit.
Okay. So that's interesting. So that's where a lot of people also sometimes argue with my approach. And I know it's a very sharp approach, right? I do it once in a while because I want attention, and I'm not gonna lie to the camera and say that I don't like attention. But I enjoy attention. I think attention is currency. Attention is money. And so I made my intentions very clear. I want to make more money to give more away. I want influence. I enjoy influence. I will suffocate at listening to somebody else. That's why I've never worked a job, right? So I like playing the game. But at the same time, I understand that public perception needs to be managed. Now that was my birthday. Okay, it was my birthday. So I used my birthday as a way to hook, to send a message. Now, what I was doing is I was recreating a scene from last year. Because that picture was last year. It wasn't this year, it was last year. Right? And last year I wrote out my notes. I wrote out exactly the suicidal note that I was going to post on Instagram, and I still saved it. I bought origami heart shapes and envelopes to send out. So I went through everything, I was going to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm just recreating that moment and say, hey, I was going to do this. 1 year later I wrote a book, I started Radical Kindness. So at the ending message, people go to the end, they realize, no, this is a hopeful message. But I had to start with that. And again, I look back, is it really the right move? I don't know. You know, I mean, the drawback is that people will get shocked. They will feel like I'm actually dead.
Yes, that's me. I was like, oh, then I realized. And I guess it really ties together with your branding in terms of radical, because then you are doing something
I contemplated this, but at the end of the day, I told myself, hey, this is a very real situation. This could happen to anybody. This was actually going to happen last year. This actual post was going to be posted out. So I'm just trying to recreate what people would have felt like in those moments if I actually had done it. And the intention is that, hey, you never know. Look out for the people around you. And at the same time, there's hope. Because I juxtapose it to where I am now. Yeah, so that was the intention of it. But Like I said, sometimes I still question myself. I'm not perfect.
So did you have many people approaching you after that post to thank you, rather? Since your intention is to bring that out.
That post went semi-viral on Instagram and TikTok especially. And I believe from the likes and the comments, people, find it inspiring.
Divided?
I don't think it's divided. I think it's mostly inspiring. I think the people who are divided, the people who think that it's too extreme, don't matter anyway. Yeah, and the people who are like that are cynical in the first place, and they won't be persuaded otherwise. These are the people that write in the comments or go to IMH. These are people that say, I feel
something is wrong with you.
Yeah, you should have done it.
But it doesn't bother you, right?
No, I would be lying to say that it doesn't bother me entirely. But I will also be lying in telling you that if my skin is not is of a different thickness as other people. Because my skin is obnoxiously thick. It's much thicker than other people. So obviously it affects me less, but does it still affect me? Yes.
So it's still that niggling bit?
A little bit sometimes. Especially from the people that you care about. Not from the strangers. From the people that you care about, that I don't know how to say.
Who are these people? Like, as in close friends?
Can
family,
be close friends or maybe people that I won't say turn on you, just people who judge you because they feel that not they have changed lah. It's like when you show more of yourself on social media, it's easier for people to misconstrue certain things. And sometimes you feel like, okay, these people of all people should be people that understand.
That should understand you more than the rest, right?
And the funny thing about it, I'm not sure whether you experience this, is that some of the best praises and encouragement don't come from people that you know. It's from absolute strangers who write notes to you.
That's also the beauty about social media, because you can really outreach to people that really can relate to you. Right. So being, I don't know, you talking about how you go into helping people. Do you actually find out more about them before you help them, or it's just really as we see it is, right? You see someone on the street, you see someone in need of help, you just go straight up. Like, do you do like, I wouldn't say background check, right? But at least you don't help the wrong people.
I hate to classify things. So I think dichotomies are a cause of suffering. Polarities result in attachments. But for the sake of this discussion, I'll use I'll categorize it. So there are different kinds of help, right? One is obviously just, I'm helping auntie. I'm helping you cross the road. Or just some very simple thing, like a word of encouragement to somebody. Still helping them, right? Helping them to brighten their day. So these are moments in the day that are very simple, right? For example, I have a habit of always rounding up the tip for taxi driver, right? So if it's 26, I'll give him 30.
Small little.
And just really small things along the way. Those are easy. Right, those are just simple to do. I think what you're talking about is more of like the longer term help, where you invest, you understand people's lives, you try and connect them to help, you try and counsel them, you try and walk the journey with them, you try and mentor them. Those kinds are a little bit tougher, honestly, and it's taken a toll on me over the years sometimes. Because if you have someone calling you up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, needing to hold space for them, and that you're tired, and the next day you got a long day, what do? So that is where the difficulty is. That has always been a struggle of mine. Because ever since I had depression at 18 and I came out of it, I was always drawn to burden. It's a very odd way to put it, but I crave burden. It's like I feel like a savior. I feel validated when I help somebody that is in deep trouble.
So probably that's your calling, not so much burden, do you think?
I would say I'll argue that burden is a calling, right? If you talk about the passion of Christ, for example, people say passion is passion, but actually passion is suffering. The root word of passion is passio, which means to suffer, right? And what are you willing to suffer for? So people ask me like what the dreams are and everything. Yes, your dreams are important, but another angle to that question is, what are you willing to suffer for? Not what your dream is. Like, what are you willing to suffer for? That is something that really, really compels you.
Right.
And for me, that is love and resilience.
So would you say, based on that, you are somewhat like a Singapore version of Mr. Beast? Have you been compared to him before?
Okay, I would say that, again to use analogies, obviously I'm my own person, but my biggest two inspirations are Andrew Tate and Mr. Beast. So if you combine them both, that's me.
That's you lah. Andrew Tate, that obnoxious.
Obnoxious Andrew Tate times Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. So it's again
a Shopee version. A very cheap Shopee version.
Taobao.
Yeah.
Taobao version. Okay. So how is that going for you? Like, what do you see yourself doing? Like, are you going to do this? What's your ultimate goal? Like, do you feel obliged?
So going back to AT and Mr. Beast, right? So when I say these names, right, I think people have certain associations with them, and it's very hard for me to break down. I need a 2-hour podcast to break each of them down, right? But if I were to summarize who they are, AT is very misunderstood. I understand that when you hear this name, some people might get very repulsed. Oh, Kevin is, is misogynist. Just from associating with him. Just from the association. But I'll give you a perspective. If you classify someone as a misogynist purely by a name, isn't it a bit ironic that you are labeling with a lack of empathy? You become a complete left extremist already, or right extreme, whatever. So I would implore you to empathize a little bit, right? And if I were to really empathize, why do so many men, especially, are so drawn to his message? Why is it that they are drawn to his message? Why are their lives turned around, are saved because of his message? There has to be some clue inside. There has to be some clue, not just about the way, not true, just truth, yes, but has to be some way in the rhetoric in which he says, as well as society in general. And the reason why he was so viral right, back then is because society is so soft and, first of all, sensitive nowadays. You cannot say anything. And then one person comes out, he doesn't care. Right? So that becomes very like, oh, wow.
He's different.
He's different, and he's like almost a voice piece of people that cannot say anything. Right? And then at the same time, there's also a legion of men who are now feel very lost because of the feminist movement. Nothing wrong with that. But now, because movement are more empowered, right? Men feel a lot less, they don't know their role. And they feel like they're lost and they're so insignificant.
A little bit limbo.
Yeah, they're so insignificant because they basically they just cannot find their place. I don't know how to describe to you. It's a lot of pressure to be a man because if you don't compete, you don't perform, you are just left in the lurch. And for example, in the dating, I know I keep diverging, right? But I'm trying to make a point. So in the dating app, for example, 80% of people are majority females, on every dating app, and they choose the winners. The guys, 5% of the guys will get 95% of the girls swipes. That's just reality, and for guys, it's very. True, for guys, that's the reality you have to play with. So when someone like AT comes along and gives them that hope and that passion, right, they become very drawn to it. Yeah. So, okay, the reason why I reference AT is because the reason why I take inspiration from him is because he's willing to die for a cause. He's willing to really die, whether go to jail or whatever. He sticks to his word, and it's a dying breed of men like that. They are good for their word, that will go to war with you.
That is really man enough.
They will go to war with you, with him and his brother. The kind of bond that they have, it is indescribable. Like, and that's the courage that I get to do extreme stuff from him and then get attention. Then obviously Mr. Beast is the similar, but it's more of the giving away money part, more of just being very, very radical with giving away money.
Really like obscene amount of money just giving out.
Yeah. And creating this cycle where I can make more and give back more.
Okay, so coming back again, so where do you see yourself?
Okay, so I see myself as someone that, as of now, things might change along the way,
yes,
right?
Of course.
But I think that I would want to be prominent. I would want to, and people might look at this and laugh at me and say, Kevin, you're just a micro-influencer. Maybe I am, right? But I have a dream. Can I not have a dream? So yes, I might never be on the same level as say, I cannot think of any influencer now because I don't really watch. But I don't know, biggest Singapore influencers, I don't really know. So like,
but your intention is very clear, right? Because your intention is, yes, you want attention. Yes, you want to have that, use that attention to help people. So that's
to bring essentially. Okay, if you go back to the core, what it is to build a more inclusive and resilient society, a more loving and resilient society. That's all. Like every business that I do, everything that I do ties back to love and resiliency, which are basically tattoos on my hands.
These are the things
because
that you represent.
my hands is how I work. So I tattooed a phoenix to represent rising from the ashes. There's Fu and Mu on the left and right wing because my parents are the one that got me out of this complete mess. They're the biggest factors why I'm alive today. And then this is a rose with blood because love is tough. To dream is to risk failure. You have to do it anyway. And there's a heartbeat here to represent that's what my heart beats for. So I shake my hand. Yeah. I shake my hand because when I extend my hand to somebody, it's an extension of my love. Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. And some people say I'm a bit intense. I am. So apologies if I'm generally a bit intense.
No, intense is good. I think I like that kind of intensity and that
That's
kind
good,
of
but
passion.
I know,
you know what I mean?
But people misconstrue it. They're very scared.
Yeah.
Some people like mute my stories because I'm too intense.
Yeah, no, but so to be honest, this is the first time I'm meeting him, and,
Right.
and all the uncut guests are my friends. He is
Yeah.
not, and he's kind enough really to accept my invitation to be on the show. So I really thank you, and really that it is only with that kind of intensity that then you'll be here, man.
Right, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm gentle as well, just not when I'm on a podcast.
Right. So you talk. Okay. So I contacted you because of this video that you did.
Yeah.
He's doing door knocking. So I know in
yes.
real estate we do a lot of door knock. So when he was doing door knocking, I was like, what's up? And turns out he is actually selling furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell me more about like what's the deal.
Yeah,
with that?
I mean, I was very fortunate. So I had a 19-year-old call me up and say, Kevin, you want to co-invest? Because I did a shout out for, this is interesting. I did a shout out for co-investing in property. Because I was exploring certain courses, man. Then they tell me, hey, you must co-invest. So I said, okay, let me gather some people. So I did a shout out. Then a bunch of people wanted to co-invest with me. And one person called me up. I was in Langkawi, I remember, after I wrote my book. Right? So I was taking a break in Langkawi on a free trip, sponsored trip by Amway. Amway's a direct sales company.
Is yeah.
Correct. So I actually am quite high level there. I'm no longer there anymore.
Oh,
But
wow.
I've been there for
High
10,
level,
yeah, I've been there for 10 years.
Okay.
So I have some passive income from there. That's where my foundation of
Nice.
this built. Yeah, but so I left it really. But anyway, so they have a free trip to Langkawi, so I went there, no choice. I'm forced to go on free trips. I love Singapore, by the way. I hate traveling. But I'm forced to travel, so I travel. Then he called me and said, you want to co-invest? Then I said, this is about $100,000, $200,000. Then I said, how are you getting money? You're 19 years old. Then I said, I run a furniture business. I'm selling on Carousel. So I thought it was a scam.
Well, it sounds really dodgy.
Yeah, but I went back and realized, no, it's not. This guy is competent.
This guy is legit.
Legit competent, right? And so like I said, so we discussed, say, is there any way we can do anything together? I decided, actually, why not just do the same thing? Right, start a different brand, right? We sell furniture still, but now I do content around it, right? I do furniture donations, charities, I feature them, I tell stories, I do home makeovers, home makeovers, or even behind the scenes business like the door knocking.
Yes.
So I said, okay, I'll build a personal brand. I'm pretty sure it will help. You know, best of both worlds. You do everything at the back end, I do the front end. We see how it goes. Then okay, then within 2 months we started Radical Homes.
Wow.
1.5 months.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's why you started doing the door knocking, and I think it's getting good results, right?
I would say the traction on those videos are probably like close to 70 to 100k in total views, which is good for a new account, right?
It's good.
And I did get some leads from there actually. I can't remember if I closed, but I did get some leads from there, and I closed a 5k order for my door knock.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a lender. I think he's the owner of a management consulting firm.
Yeah.
And he needed some office furniture. So it's like, wow, first sale 5k.
First deal 5k, not bad.
But then I realized that was just a lucky, you know. Actually, it's not easy.
No, it's not lucky. Really, we do door knock. It's not about luck. It's really.
Yeah,
so
fair enough. I give myself some credit, but I'm saying that.
Give yourself more credit, please.
I give myself credit, but I'm just saying that like door knock alone is not easy, because after that I hired a sales team to do. Then I realized that very tough, because they are not as competent as me, number one. Number two, they need to be incentivized early.
Because you're very intense, man.
No, I've been doing for 10 years. You cannot compare, right? I faced so many rejections in Amway.
Yeah.
You know, I was literally selling like soap door to door.
Yeah.
So it's very hard, but
very good.
yeah.
So maybe we should do some content together, door knocking, right? We should. We should
consider.
Explore. We should explore.
Consider.
Then I'll probably also do some kind content, because I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Like bring old people, lonely people, lonely old folks, no family, to go for Chinese reunion dinner, Chinese New Year reunion dinner.
Okay,
so
maybe very nice. We can consider, right? And then use my expertise to shoot it.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, you mentioned about the real estate course. What was it about?
Oh, that was very fascinating. Okay, I got busy, so I didn't really I didn't execute the deal. I'll just be open with you. So I got about a couple $100,000 investments, but I didn't execute the deal eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the basic premise is that you pool together to buy a Rolex versus buying a Tech Heuer, and then it appreciates in value, right? So the same thing with property. You want to pool together and buy a higher quality property that appreciates, and then you share the profit.
Higher quantum.
Yeah, then you share the profit accordingly, you roll it and you leverage and you keep doing it again and again. So that's essentially what a lot of courses are telling you.
Okay.
I mean, I won't name names, but you all know, right? The ones in the market.
Yeah.
And I found it interesting because they seem to have some sort of like history between them. And I don't know because both sides will tell me their own sides of the story. And everybody has ego, so I don't really want to dive deep into that. I'm more focused on the integrity of their arguments and whether or not it makes sense or
So
not.
dodgy, is it dodgy or how do you think? What do you think?
I cannot give an accurate, definitive statement without understanding things to a certain extent. That's why I never talk through my ass.
Very fair.
I need quantitative research, I need my own intuition, and nobody does that. They just talk through their ass.
They just talk. They never think, right?
Especially on podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful. It might seem like I'm out of pocket, but it's very calculated.
Yeah. So you are some sort like a wow cannon, but not so wow.
In some sense, a calculated cannon.
Okay, calculated cannon is an oxymoron.
Yeah, it is. It's a juxtaposition, and that's what people don't see, right? Behind what I do, actually, it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of thin slicing. But people don't see that.
Okay. Before we go,
Yeah.
one last thing. Do you have any shout-outs, like anything that you want to say before we go?
I would say two things. One is from a tattoo artist that just did this tattoo.
Okay. This is new, right?
Yes, but it's temporary for Squid Games. I mean, my radical games. I just thought I would play the part a bit. It's a king cobra wrapped in a dove. It's inspired by the verse in the Bible: "Be as sharp as a serpent and as gentle as a dove." So it just represents me. Like, it's a bit of both.
It's very, very apt. Very apt description.
So I guess that would be my message to people. Don't. And she quoted me, and I'm directly referencing her. Her name is Sayan. Her ad is Hey Sayan. So you want a jaguar tattoo, you can go and contact her for that. And she said this that I found it very fascinating. She said, "Don't attribute malice to what could be ignorance." And I think a lot of people are so quick to judge people's intentions without knowing that, hey, it could just be an honest mistake. Or it could just be that you are overjudging based on your filters. Right? So that's the first thing, I think, because when you do that, it's just a projection and reflection of yourself.
Right? Yeah. But sometimes it's really hard to avoid.
It is very hard.
That's
You need
how
a lot
it
of
is
self-awareness and
Yeah.
maturity. And I'll say the second message is that no matter how dark and stormy and bitter the night is, right, eventually the sun will rise.
Wow. I like that one.
But you have to stay through the night. I know it's tough. I know sometimes you just feel like giving up. Sometimes you feel like maybe it's better to just freeze in the cold. But take it from me, right? I really have been in the depths of despair, like the pits of the valleys. And at so many points in that journey, I genuinely thought that the next thing I'll see will be God. I was prepared again. I was genuinely prepared. Like, I don't think people realize it when I say this. People think I'm acting. I'm not. Like, if you ask me to act as a psychopath now, I will play the part very well because I've been insane. So that's where I came from. And if I can come out of that, there's hope. And no matter, you just have to cling on to hope. No matter how faint it is, no matter where it comes from, you just cling on to it and hope that the next day will be better. The next day will be better. And eventually, in hindsight, you realize that, hey, wow, this doesn't bother me anymore. And your mess, okay, your scars will become your stars, your pain will become your purpose, and your mess will become your message.
Wow. Very good. I'm going to write that down. Keep it as my wallpaper.
Yeah, so
that's really very good. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that's the last message I'll share with you guys.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time, Kevin. Really inspiring. I hope to see you
I appreciate it.
on the collaboration door knock soon.
Can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys.